Ever since ChatGPT was released late 2022, AI had jumped from a techie experiment to a C-suite priority almost overnight. To the markets, ChatGPT was proof of product at tremendous scale and very well executed. Leaders soon believed that the tech was mature enough to be plugged into core business workflows. Cut to 2025, however, even insiders are recalibrating. Sam Altman has very famously warned that investors are overexcited, edging us towards an AI bubble. And big tech is also echoing the sentiment, a telling sign that maybe exuberance is meeting ROI reality. Welcome to AI Reality Check. Here, I deep dive how businesses should implement AI, when to improve what you've already got, and when AI just does not belong to the workflow. I learn through examples, and I want this to be a conversation. So please drop your counter arguments and comments and advice in the comments. Let's make this useful. Today's case is Klarna. Klarna CEO Sebastian Siemiatkowski has built one of the most forward-leaning brands in the buy now, pay later sector. It has been leading the space globally at 26.9%, followed closely by Affirm and Afterpay. The company ships fast, experiments boldly, and quite publicly. Their most recent bet was AI and a partnership with OpenAI. They had replaced about 700 roles in customer service back in 2022. Within the first month itself, AI had handled about 2/3 of all chats across 23 markets and 35 plus languages. Resolution times fell from 11 minutes to 2 minutes, and repeat contacts had also dropped by 25%, generating about 40 million USD in profit. Those are big operational wins. Klarna had also dropped Salesforce and roughly 1,200 other SaaS tools, which were external, and they were rebuilding data and CRM workflows internally. Why did this become a reality check? By mid to late 2025, Klarna publicly acknowledged that they had over-indexed on AI for cost-cutting, compromising on growth, and better service. Let's take a look under the hood. Point number 1, problem framing and permissions. Klarna put its bot on the front line to resolve errands end-to-end. That's a high-authority agent. It can change invoices, issue refunds, or alter schedules. In the buy now, pay later sector, these actions have real financial and regulatory side effects. So a bad resolution is much costlier than a misroute. Point number 2, long tail entropy. Yes, aggregate success was strong, covering roughly 2/3 of all chats, but accuracy and quality concerns had surfaced. Likely cause, the assistant or the model was overfitting. Obviously, if you have millions of people logging onto your website asking many questions, naturally, some questions would be more frequent than others. So the model or the agent started learning them more, overfit on the frequent intents, and underhandle the long tail, more scarce questions. Things like evidence windows, merchant policy conflicts, or maybe even jurisdictional quirks. Without risk labels plus confidence gates, the bot tries to finish the case instead of saying, oh, I do not know the answer, or maybe just escalating to a human. Point number 3, evaluation mismatch. Early on, Klarna focused on operational KPIs like AHT, average handle time going down, or repeat contacts going down, or even CSAT parity, that is, bots and humans getting the same customer service ratings. But they truly underrated the true quality indicators. First, contact correctness. Was the answer correct the first time? This requires a lot of identity stitching. Second, make good cost. How much did Klarna spend to fix bot cost errors like refunds, credits, customer apologies? 3, dispute reversals. How often did the bot make a call that had to be reversed? And most importantly, regulator clock compliance. Did the bot escalate in time to meet legal deadlines, like chargebacks? Even if the human and bot get similar customer service ratings, that is the CSAT parity, that does not mean the bot was correct. Many times, users just do not know they've gotten the wrong information. And sometimes they do not bother reconnecting. They just silently churn. And others leave happy until a chargeback is denied. So CSAT can mask issues requiring downstream fixes. And later on, compliance teams and ops teams are cleaning up the mess. Point number 4, replatforming while automating. Around the same time that they introduced AI into the workflow, they had also exited Salesforce and 1,200 external SaaS tools. They were rewiring CRM, KV, analytics, audits, and all of these changes was increasing latency, access control, lineage, and also increasing change management risks. So around a time when a new MLAI model has to learn from audited knowledge bases, needs a stable environment, and also requires deterministic policy engines, it had nothing to fall back on. Migration debt had likely leaked into the bot behavior. Point number 5, policy execution versus generative reasoning. A pure LLM resolver that tends to blend retrieval, policy, and action is very dangerous in the payments sector. If you want a strict split, like RAG for retrieval, like source IDs, policies, history, audit logs, etc., and a policy engine for rules and verifiable constraints, then the action layer will work better. And an action layer also has to be hedged with item potency keys, audits, rollbacks, etc. All in all, I also think a direct LLM to action path in a place or sector that is so regulated like finance or healthcare is unsafe. Now, coming to how I would redesign it. I'd create agent roles, clear separation of duties. So a modular agent design pattern from Triage, Advisor, and then a Resolve. The triage will classify user intent, assign risk labels. Then the advisor will use RAG to pull policy, history, and draft cited answers. And a resolver ideally would be a human who would execute any high-risk actions like refunds, chargebacks, KYC, payment term changes, anything on a regulator timer. Only the low-risk, fully deterministic flows can be auto-resolved using AI. And the final transaction layer will actually have changes backed by item potency keys, full audit logs, verifiable side effects. No direct LLM to action on regulated paths, ever. We also should have runtime controls that make it safe. We can gate by confidence, entropy. If confidence drops, so the risk is high, we hand it off to a human agent completely. We run timer watchdogs for dispute and chargeback deadlines. And we also ensure that we are enforcing evidence completeness. So no action until an entire checklist is checked off and satisfied. The UI should always show a visible human SLA banner because in regulated sectors like healthcare and finance, clients will feel more safe when they know that they can always fall back on a human. But that can also make the AI workflow kind of redundant. Every client, at least personally, I would want to directly go to a human instead of speaking to a bot. So maybe that's up for discussion. Other than that, we have to measure what matters, not just speed, especially when you're trying something new. So beyond AHT and deflection, we have to track first contact correctness, make good dollars, regulator timer hits, merchant back pressure, even appeal rate or bot cost recontact. Every metric should be sliced by jurisdiction, merchant, and product so that we can catch long tail failures early on. Coming to MLOps that would not blow up in production, we have to deploy in shadow mode and then gated ramps with poor intent canaries. Doing it in a more waterfall fashion, all in kind of way, like Klarna did, can be risky. We also monitor drift by language and market, and we run counterfactual audits. So compare the bot's decision against a gold standard human decision. Some of the successful examples of integrating AI to customer service workflows are Verizon and also Comcast with their Ask Me Anything agents. Having said all of this, I will have to mention that yes, of course, each comparison comes with caveats. They might have been using a more mature AI model, or their KPI definitions are different. It's very common for companies to have different formulae for very standard KPIs. No comparison is parallel. However, it is undeniable that LLMs perform better with a few short examples in the prompt or some retrieval augmentation. That means you'll be passing 2 to 3 canonical examples in the prompt and retrieving past policies, CRMs, ledgers, audits, so that the model can use it as a source of truth instead of hallucinating. And to keep this maintainable across teams, there are emerging standards like Microsoft's POML, which is the Prompt Orchestration Markup Language. In addition to that, I've also seen many hybrid roles now available, like AI business strategist, business AI solutions engineer, deployment strategist, which I think is very smart to bridge the gap between business, product, and AI ML expertise. So yeah, this was AI Reality Checked. Please drop in your counter arguments, your comments, your advice here. And maybe we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.